Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. We're about to dive into a fascinating topic, Theory X and Theory Y by Douglas McGregor. On this first slide, you'll see the title and the author's name, an important foundation for understanding different management styles. Over the course of this presentation, we'll explore these theories, their differences, and how they influence leadership and workplace behavior. So let's get started and discover what these theories can teach us. Let's take a closer look at the introduction to McGregor's management theories. In 1960, Douglas McGregor proposed two contrasting approaches to managing people, which he detailed in his influential book, The Human Side of Enterprise. These theories are really foundational because they help us understand how different management styles can impact employee motivation and overall workplace culture. Essentially, they offer us a lens through which we can view how managers' beliefs about their employees shape their leadership. By understanding these theories, we can better appreciate the importance of management style in fostering productivity and employee satisfaction. So, as we go through this presentation, keep in mind how these ideas connect to our broader discussion about effective management and motivating teams. All right, let's take a closer look at Theory X, which is often called the authoritarian approach to management. Essentially, this theory assumes that employees generally dislike work and will tend to avoid it if they can. Because of this, managers who subscribe to Theory X believe that workers need to be closely supervised at all times. They think that threats or strict oversight are necessary to ensure productivity. The idea here is that people prefer to be told what to do and generally shy away from taking responsibility on their own. So, under this approach, management tends to adopt a very strict, controlling style, often working in a top-down manner where decisions are made at the top and enforced downward. This style of management reflects a belief that employees aren't naturally motivated to work hard, so it relies heavily on control and authority. It's a very rigid approach, which contrasts with more participative or empowering styles. Understanding Theory X helps us see how different management philosophies influence organizational culture and leadership behavior, especially when compared to more modern, collaborative approaches. Now, let's take a closer look at Theory Y, which is often called the participative approach. This theory assumes that employees actually enjoy their work and see it as a natural part of their lives. Instead of viewing workers as simply motivated by extrinsic rewards, it suggests that people are inherently self-motivated and have a desire to be creative, provided they're given the right opportunities. This perspective also highlights that workers generally seek responsibility. They want to be trusted and empowered to make decisions. When they're given that autonomy, they tend to self-direct and take ownership of their tasks. So, what does this mean for management? Well, it calls for a supportive, empowering, and collaborative style. Managers act more like facilitators or coaches, encouraging participation and supporting their team's growth. Overall, Theory Y aligns with the idea that when you trust and empower your employees, they'll bring their best ideas and energy to the table, which ultimately benefits the entire organization. It's a more human-centered approach that fosters engagement and innovation. So, to sum things up briefly, let's look at the two main theories we've discussed. First, Theory X. This perspective suggests that people need to be pushed or coerced into working. It assumes that employees are inherently lazy and require strict supervision to get things done. On the other hand, Theory Y offers a much more optimistic view. It believes that people actually want to do well and find satisfaction in their work. They're motivated by challenges and opportunities to grow. Understanding these theories helps us see how different management styles can influence motivation and productivity. It's important to recognize that fostering a positive environment, aligned with Theory Y, can lead to better engagement and results. So, in the context of today's discussion, embracing the idea that people want to do well can really transform how we lead and manage teams.